Today the topic of discussion is brain computer interface, which is a part of unit 5. These are the contents which I am going to cover today. First we will see the introduction of BCI, what is BCI, then the history, features, working principles, applications, and then advantages and disadvantages. So what is basically BCI? It is a technology which allows a human to control a computer, peripheral or other electronic devices with thought. That is, your brain is generating certain signals and these signals being trapped with the help of certain electronic devices and they are sent to a computer where your brain waves can be manipulated. How it works? It does so by using electrodes to detect electric signals in the brain which are sent to a computer. Now, which kind of signals the brain is generating? These are the your electric signals, and these electric signals being detected, or you could say being captured with the help of electrodes. The computer then translate these signals into the data which is used to control a computer or a device linked to a computer. So this is a block diagram of a BCI, basic brain computer interface system, which is including signal detection, processing and deployment. So here first the brain is generating certain signals and these signals being trapped with the help of a module, with the help of electrodes. That is, first we are doing signal acquisition, then this signal acquisition is converted into the digitized signal and then sent to a signal processing unit. Now this signal processing unit, it comprised of mainly two components. One is feature extraction and another one is translation. After that, the translation, these are the commands, and these commands which has been translated here in during your signal processing phase, they are sent to a BCI application interface, and there these certain kind of actions they can be performed depending upon the what kind of brain signals have been trapped. So what is happening basically? First the signals, they are being sent to a module, or you could say with the help of the electrodes they are sent to a particular center which is your signal acquisition or a signal acquiring section. Then after that the features, they are extracted from those signals, that is those features which are basically relevant for this particular BCI application. So what kind of features being extracted? It depends what kind of application is being used. Upon extracting those features, doing the feature extraction, translation is being done and certain kinds of commands being generated. So what are the major historical events? That is how this concept has been evolved. In 1924, Hans Berger, a German neurologist, was the first to record human brain activity by means of EEG. This is the first human brain activity has been tracked. Then in 1970, research on BCIs began at the University of California, Los Angeles, that is UCLA. Then in 78, a prototype was implanted into a man who is blinded in adulthood. Following years of animal experimentation, after this a lot of experimentation is going on in the animal world, and the first neuroprosthetic device is implanted in humans, which has appeared in mid of the 1990s. Then in 2005, Matthew Nagle was one of the first person to use a BCI to restore functionality lost due to paralysis. That is the Matthew Nagle, he was the first person who used this concept in a paralytic person. Then in 2013, Duke University researchers, they successfully connected the brains of two rats with electronic interfaces that allowed them to directly share the information in the first ever direct brain to brain interface. Up to here, the interface is between brain and computer, and after that the interface is between brain and brain. That is the experiment conducted in 2013. So how the brain turns thoughts into a action, that is actually a human brain functioning. We are aware that the brain is full of neurons, and these neurons, they are connected to each other by axons and dendrites. So your neuron, as you think about anything or do anything, are at work. So if you think something or you perform any action, these neurons, they are in the action. So your neurons, they are connected with each other to form a super highway for nerve impulses to travel from neuron to neuron to produce thought, hearing, speech or movement. That is, these neurons, they are connected with one another and thus forming a complex network of these neurons. And when a action is being generated at one neuron, then this particular thing is being transferred to other neurons. If you have an itch and you reach to scratch it, you received a stimulus. That is, what is a stimulus? That is an itch. That is, you are having a itching and you reacted to this stimulus. Your body reacted to this stimulus. In response to the stimulus, by scratching, the electrical signals that generated the thought and action travel at a rate of about 250 feet per second or faster in some cases. So how the signal acquisition, we have earlier seen the block diagram of the BCI. So in this, how the signal acquisition is being done, we are having EEG techniques or ECOG technique, LFP, SU. These are the various techniques with the help of which your brain signals is being trapped, is being acquired. Then these acquired signals, they are sent to a signal processing unit, and these signal processing unit, they uses various techniques. For example, it could be autoregressive, wavelets or Fourier transformation or Laplacian filters, other kind of filters for feature extraction. Then there is a effector device. Effector device, that is a module which is a computer module. After extracting the features and generating the command is being sent to the effector device, and this effector device, it could be a robotic arm, it could be a wheelchair, it could be cursors, spellers, etc. So data acquisition. After data acquisition, here we have seen the signal processing part. Now this signal processing part is very complex because here we are doing feature extraction and other processing. So once the data is acquired, we use certain pre-processing enhancement techniques. After that, the output is sent to the features extraction module. There we are, after that features are extracted, then these extracted features, they are sent to the translation algorithms. Now these translation algorithms, they are of various varieties. They can be used for visualization, sonification or audification applications could be there. Then we are having haptic and tactile stimulus, olfactory stimulation. In the visualization in the visualization part, we are having light, colors, images, video, motion or animation. These kind of things can be predicted by the brain, and then a unit, visualization unit, can tell that what the brain has seen or predicted. In the case of sonification or audification, we could have sound and music related applications. In the case of haptic and tactile stimulus, we could have tactile, vibration, electrical, thermal, micro, texture, shape or force in related applications. In the case of olfactory simulation, we could have scent and the odors related simulation, and after that the feedback is again given to the human. The easiest and the least invasive method is a set of electrodes, a device known as EEG, that is electroencephalograph, attached to the scalp, as you can see in the figure. Then these electrodes, they read the brain signals. Here is the human brain and it is generating various kinds of signals. To get a higher resolution signal, scientists can implant electrodes directly into the gray matter of the brain itself or on the surface of the brain, that is beneath the skull. So wires from each electrode, they transmit their measurements to a computer. So here we are having a computer and this computer is being receiving the signals from the EEG device. The electrodes measure minute difference in the voltage between the neurons. These neurons, they are generating the signals, and there is a difference when they are transferring the signal from one neuron to another neuron. Then there is a difference in the voltage, and this voltage being detected by the electrodes. These differences in the voltage, these are the signals, and these signals are then amplified and filtered. The computer produces a graph showing the readings from each electrode. So in this figure, if you look, we are having multiple electrodes. They are connected to the computer, and these your brain is generating certain signals. Now this is the EEG report. For every electrode, we are having a output which is showing what kind of activity is being detected or what kind of signal is being detected by that particular electrode. Because these electrodes, they are connected with the different parts of the brain. So by looking at this result, we can conclude that which particular part of the brain is superactive or certain kind of behavior is being detected in a particular part of the brain. Where BCI is being useful, it provides disabled people with communication, environment control, and movement restoration. Basically, it is being used in various disabled people related applications which help them in communicating or which can help them in controlling their environment or in their day-to-day activity. Provide enhanced control of devices such as wheelchair, vehicles or assistance robots for the people with disability. That is, with the people, they are giving the command to these robots or to a wheelchair through their brain signals. It provides an additional channel of control in computer games. It can monitor attention in long distance drivers or aircraft pilots and can send out alert and warning mechanism to the aircraft pilots. So if a pilot is feeling sleepy, then in that case his brain activity, it would be different, and it is being detected, it can be detected with the help of these electrodes. And if certain kind of problem being detected by these by this particular application, then it can send alert to the pilot. Certain intelligent relaxation devices, they can also be developed with the help of BCI. Control the robots that function in a dangerous or inhospitable situations, for example underwater or in extreme heat or cold. That is, these are those areas where the human is not reachable, but the robots, they can go to these areas, and these robots, they can be controlled by the human brain activity. It can create a feedback loop to enhance the benefits of certain therapeutic methods. Develop passive devices for monitoring functions such as monitoring long-term drug effects, evaluating psychological state, etc. If some person is drug addict, then by monitoring his brain activity, the drug effect can be known. Monitor stages of sleep, bionics, cybernetics, memory upload, download, dream capture, etc. Even a human dream, they can be captured with the help of BCI interface. And the brain, it could act, or it can become a computer, because in the previous figure we had seen that the feedback being given to the human brain again. So these are the few examples. In the first figure, we are having the Australian bionic eye, that is a person, he can see with the help of bionic eye. Then in the case this, we are having a brain gate interface, that is a person is sitting here and he is controlling the system commands with the help of his brain. This is BCI 2000, that is whatever being the human is thinking, that particular information is being written here. Then we are having Honda Asimo control, where the human is controlling this robot with the help of his brain signals. This is a simple another figure which is showing BCI gaming, that is a person, he is not holding any kind of device in his hands, but he is playing with the game. And how? With the help of his brain signals. Kevin Warwick, he has developed the first human cyborg, and this human cyborg is being is working with the help of BCI interface. Nowadays, we are having a wireless BCI systems, that is the electrodes which are being connected to the brain. Instead of having a wired system, we are having a wireless system, and they are sending the signals via wireless signals to the computer. So what are the advantages of BCI? Eventually, this technology could allow paralyzed people to control prosthetic limbs with their mind. Then it can transmit visual images to the mind of a blind person, and a blind person can also see. It can transmit auditory data to the mind of a deaf person, allowing them to hear. Then it allows the gamers to control video games with their minds, allow a mute person to have their thought displayed and spoken by a computer. But BCI is having its disadvantages also. Research is still in beginning stages. The current technology is crude. Ethical issues may prevent its development, because a lot of ethical policies, they play a major role. That is how the BCI concept can improve the human lifestyle. Electrodes outside of the skull can detect very few electric signals, and if we implant them inside the brain, then they might damage certain nerves. Electrodes placed inside the skull, they create the scar tissue in the brain, and sometimes the tissues or the nervous system also got damaged. These are the references which I used while developing this presentation, and you can also go through them. Thank you.